Hey guys, so hey, it's been a bit of I think a week again, which I think is a good time frame for me to like download everything that's happening. It's been a pretty good week, I would say. There's been good developments. I'm using a different. I'm not using the computer this time. I'm using the camera because the computer's quality is just like it's just not the same. Um, I'm gonna try to make this one short, not to go like probably 10 minutes, 10, 15 max. Um, this week has been, wow, it feels like it's been longer than a week. I've been like so out of, like, time has been so strange lately. Um, yeah, so the first thing that I was thinking about this morning is how I had to shift my mental model of success and working because I was basically burning myself out, and that obviously never good. So instead of following what everyone was saying and like really grinding and really hustling and like you got 5 hours a day after work and everything and just like really hammer it and you have to do all these things and everyone's saying because we're in lockdown then this is the best time to start a business and you should be cracking on it and you should be like getting so much momentum. I know now that the harder I go at something, the more breaks I'm going to need down the track. And so I think on the last video I talked about consistency and how that's I think more important than how hard you go at it. You see, like it's so common to see people going really hard at things, but then they disappear because it's exhausting. Like if you don't get results quick when you're going really really hard on like at something, you just don't want to do it anymore. Like it gets to the point where how can I put it? Let's say any sports. If I was to train 5 hours a day every day, within a month I will be good. Like anyone will be good or the progress will be very obvious. But in business, that's not always the case. You could actually work your butt off for 3 years and not see anything. And so, at least for me, the wins are important. And I come from that background of sports, of like, I really put my soul into something and I will get good at that. But in business, it just doesn't work that way sometimes. Like, yes, you can actually start and hustle and actually get good traction straight away. But that has not been the case for me. So I actually decided, okay, well, I'm going to get consistent. I'm going to do very small steps, but I'm going to do a step every day. That way I know there's always work waiting for me. And I'm going to work on being okay with that much work being left behind. And so for the last week, I've been literally doing half an hour of business every day, like just one thing, one small step, one more small step. And the results have been pretty awesome. Like I still haven't launched what I have in mind, but there's progress and it's very like I don't feel like I've worked for it, which is good. Like it feels like it's naturally been happening. So I have all the steps in front of me. I know exactly what I need to do, but instead of trying to do 10 steps, I'm only doing one. And so like I'll do a logo or just change the theme on a page or find a product or all these little things that you have to do when you're starting from scratch, right? And so that's been the biggest thing, and it's actually been supporting me so much more, like I think emotionally and yeah, mentally. Like I'm not feeling burnt out. I'm not feeling like, oh my god, there's so much and I'm not gonna be able to get it done, or I'm not doing enough, or because I'm being consistent. And it's actually like I have an alarm, and when the alarm goes off I know, okay, cool, half an hour, and then I do that half an hour. I know exactly what's next because it's not like I'm doing so much that when I get to my business time I have to like go, oh, where did I leave? It's like so obvious, so simple, so easy to follow, that I know that within 3-4 months, like it's gonna be good. It's gonna be very interesting to see the progress. I think we're gonna be launching probably sooner, probably less than a month, and that to me is massive. Like if you think about, when I think about people that have never been in business and how they go from nothing to say launching an online store or launching an Amazon business or launching whatever it is, a month is like, if they do it in a month, that is like a massive achievement. So I'm pretty happy with that. Like I decided to let go of my knowingness and thinking that I have to do it my way, and how because I know then I should be doing better, all that stuff. So I think consistency is gonna be my game, and it's been my friend. At least for this week, it's been really good. Yeah, and also it's allowing me, it's motivating me to do more of the things that I want to have the time to do. So for example, this week I have been getting back into working on motorcycles, which is a passion of mine. Like, I like tinkering, I like putting stuff apart, putting it back together, make a bike work, and do a little bit of designing, and just planning, and just being playing creative with that. So I have the time. Like, I feel like I have the energy, I have the time, I have the motivation, because it's not like I have to stay at the computer for X amount of time after work to get business going, but then I have no time to do the stuff that I want to do, and then I get stuck in the computer, and then it's just a vicious cycle of the stuff that, yeah, it wasn't making me happy. So it's pretty cool, because now I have time to go and do exercise. I can do motorcycle tinkering. I do a little bit of video games, which is another thing that I like. I play for an hour, and that's great, because it keeps me super super grounded and sane. But when I don't do those things, it's just a rat race. I'm just chasing a shiny star, shiny objects, and that's definitely not good. So it's been a really good week in terms of that. Still reading, still moving forward with that. Yeah, like, it's been a simple week. I think there isn't too much more to say. I had really good conversations with my parents. It's actually really good to being able to. So something that I believe is that we teach best what we need to learn the most. So it's actually been awesome to being able to talk to them about spiritual stuff and growth stuff and consciousness stuff, like very small points, things that I have worked through over the years, and actually share with them the start, the beginning, and the end, and where I'm at, and how I am moving forward with those topics. But then it reminds me of those topics. It reminds me to practice that. It reminds me to be mindful. It reminds me to read more. It reminds me to meditate more. It reminds me to just be more grounded. So I think I really value that time, because it's not a lot. Like, I think we talk for like half an hour at lunch, and yeah, we get to like just share stuff and go. Yeah. So yesterday, for example, we were talking about how the people closest to you are the ones that try to pull you down the most, and it's so unconscious. It's so culturally, just like it's very interesting. And an example I was saying to them is when we see a person that is really close to us doing just a little bit better, we start making jokes about that. So, oh, look at you now with that new watch, or look at you now dressing all fancy, or look at you now, and it sounds like a joke, but it's not a joke, and how that actually impacts the person that says it more than the one that receives it. The one receiving it just has to understand that it's literally a reflection of the person saying it, right? If it affects them directly, then there's work to do there. But I was talking to them about how culturally we're so ingrained to keep people at our level, that we don't want people to succeed. We don't want people to be better than us, because why? Like, they are part of our group. Like, they should be like us. And how envy doesn't exist. Envy is literally just wanting, it's actually being angry at ourselves because someone else made it before us. But that's just my version of envy. Envy is not like, oh, I wish I had that. It's more like, oh, dang, that person did it first, and I'm pissed off at myself for not having it before them. It's like competition. Yeah, so we talked about a bunch of stuff, and it's been actually really good. And even discussing how everywhere we look, the lessons are literally just there, and we just like rushing around trying to find gurus or people to teach us stuff, yet the lessons are literally there. Like, yeah, that's fascinating, especially when you think about on a business context. We always think that, like, we need mentors and we need that. Yeah, they're there. They give you the hints, but at the end of the day, the answers are right in front of us. We are the ones living, we are the ones practicing, we are the ones going through everything. So we just have to be able to grab those principles and figure out what works for us and practice it and just literally go at it one thing at a time. And that's something that was overwhelming me. Just it was just the amount of steps and the complexity of the steps. And now, like if I break it down, it's just me taking steps. And yeah, and I'm actually very grateful that I'm recording this because it's such a good journey that I'm going through. Like this is whole experiments for me. It's pretty cool. And talking about experiments, I'm still working on letting go of my personal preferences and stepping back. And yeah, so that's all working. I'm still on the journey, and yeah, things are pretty good. So that's my update for the week, and I hope next week, yeah, let's see what the week brings. We are getting out of lockdown slowly, so a lot more spare time, a little bit, not spare time, a little bit more time to be outside, a little bit more time to really go out and let go of the environment and detach from the same place. And it's good because then you get to come back home. I get to come back home and enjoy home again. It's like if you don't leave, you don't get to see it from the outside in again. So it's good. So that's me for the week. I hope you guys have an awesome week. And yeah, as always, leave me a comment if you like it. Leave me a thought if you resonated with anything that it's in the video. And yeah, look forward to seeing you. See ya.